He was not just a wrestler. He was a nightmare given flesh. A storyteller who turned fear into art, darkness into belief, and imagination into reality. Bray Wyatt didn't enter the ring, he invaded your mind. Millions followed his words, his riddles, his eerie sermons, never realizing the man behind the monster was fighting a war far more terrifying than anything scripted. Then, on August 24, 2023, the world woke up to a shocking headline: Bray Wyatt was dead at just 36 years old. Officials called it natural causes. Fans were left shattered. And the questions came instantly. How does a creative genius recently cleared to return suddenly disappear forever? This is not just a story of death. This is the mystery of Bray Wyatt. Born Windham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt came from one of wrestling's most respected families, carrying the weight of legacy from the moment he stepped into the industry. But instead of following tradition, he chose reinvention. Bray transformed wrestling promos into psychological horror, blending philosophy, cult imagery, and fear into something entirely new. As the leader of the Wyatt family, he didn't rely on muscles alone. He controlled audiences through words, pauses, and unease. Yet behind the eerie brilliance was a man under constant pressure to outdo himself, to remain relevant, and to carry the burden of being a creative visionary in a corporate system that rarely protects its artists. Bray Wyatt's greatest weapon was his mind, but it was also his heaviest burden. Creating deeply psychological characters required him to live inside darkness for long periods of time. Friends and colleagues later revealed that Bray took his art seriously, sometimes too seriously, immersing himself fully into his personas. Over time, the line between character and reality blurred. Anxiety, emotional exhaustion, and creative isolation began to take their toll. Wrestling fans saw magic, but few saw the mental strain required to sustain it. In 2023, Bray Wyatt suddenly disappeared from WWE programming. Rumors swirled: creative disagreements, personal struggles, hidden illness. WWE remained silent. What was later revealed shocked everyone. Bray had been battling a serious, life-threatening illness that affected his heart, worsened by a previous COVID infection. While he was reportedly making progress and planning a return, his body was quietly failing. The audience never saw the battle. The ring lights stayed off, and the silence grew heavier with every passing week. On August 24, 2023, Bray Wyatt passed away unexpectedly at the age of 36. WWE confirmed his death, citing complications related to a heart condition. The announcement sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. Tributes poured in from legends, rivals, and fans alike. Yet beneath the grief was disbelief. He was young. He was creative. He was preparing to return. How could it end like this? For many, the explanation felt painfully incomplete. While Bray Wyatt's death was officially ruled as resulting from natural causes, the circumstances raise haunting questions. Years of intense physical performance, psychological immersion, stress, travel, and pressure compound silently. Add illness, isolation, and the expectation to constantly reinvent greatness, and the human body eventually breaks. Was his death unavoidable? Or was it accelerated by the relentless demands of an industry that celebrates creativity but often neglects long-term health, especially mental and cardiac wellness? Bray Wyatt's passing fits a tragic pattern seen too often in professional wrestling. Young stars gone too soon, explanations labeled simple, pain left unexplored. While eras change, the cost remains frighteningly familiar. Wrestlers evolve characters, push boundaries, and sacrifice themselves for the audience, often without the safety nets given to other performers. Bray Wyatt will be remembered as one of the greatest storytellers wrestling has ever known. He turned promos into poetry, villains into philosophy, and matches into experiences. He proved wrestling could be art, horror, and emotion all at once. Though his life ended too soon, his creations will live forever in the minds of fans who followed the Fireflies. Bray didn't just scare people, he made them feel something deeper. Bray Wyatt terrified millions, But the real tragedy is that no one could save the man behind the monster. Remember the fireflies. Remember the warning, and never forget the cost of carrying darkness alone.